All right, hopefully this works. All right, so we do know that its area equals length times the width, right? We know that its measurement is in the area equals its square units. Okay. So you've been given a piece of paper with several different areas to deal with. This one's 64, right? So think about the numbers that you can multiply together to give me 64. We're going to draw diagrams here. So give me one square that when you multiply its length times its width, or one rectangle, length times the width, where you have 64 as an area. Jamie. So an 8 by 8, right? Is that a rectangle or a square? Because all the sides are the same, right? So if we drew, right, that's one diagram we could draw. Okay. Now I wouldn't write this on your paper because your paper is not 64. You got a different one. What else could? What else? Length times width would give me 64. Besides 8 and 8. Think of some numbers, Dana. Length would be what? 32 and 2. Okay, would that be a rectangle or a square? Yeah, it's gonna be pretty skinny, right? So if this was 2 and this was 32, or if you had it going the other way, tall ways, but you get the idea. What else? Got some good ones so far. Give me a couple more. Start thinking of some numbers. Come on, there's more than there's lots of factors of 64. Ethan, huh? 16 and 4. Okay, good. Let's do this one here. So this will be 4. This will be 16. Good. All right, so you get the idea. All right, so on your table, you're going to work on drawing as many diagrams as you can of the different shapes. Now down here we have the table. So if my area is 64 inches and the length is 1, what would the width have to be? Because remember, length times width gives me the area. So if they give me a length of 1, what does that mean my area my width has to be to give me an area of 64? Blake? 64, right? 1 times 64 is 64. If it was 2, Dana gave us that one. That was 32. What would be 3? If I gave 3, 3 times what would give me 64? How could you find 3? Because 3 doesn't go evenly into 64. How could you figure this out if I asked for 3? What would you do? 64 divided by 3, which is what? Give me to the nearest tenth. Anybody? 64 divided by 3. I guess I have to get my calculator out. Nobody wants to participate anymore. So 21.3 repeating, which is basically a third, right? And we know if 4 goes into 64, because Ethan told us 16 times. What about 5? What about 5? 12.8, okay. What about 6? We know the last one, obviously. Does 6 go in evenly? No, that's 10.6 repeating. And what about 7? We'll just say 9.1. All right, so there's our points. So obviously we have our points. We're going to graph it, and then you're going to come up with an equation. You're going to try to see if you can come up with an equation. So we're going to give you some time to talk about this as a group and walk through it. So I want you to take your paper that you got with your specific area. There's 24, there's 20, there's 30, there's 36, there's 32, there's 48. What else is there? 50. All right. So you're going to work on this, trying to see what information that you can gather. Okay. Don't worry about your summary page yet, but I want you to see how you graph it. Right. Again, your graph actually has the boxes in, so make that corner the 0, 0 point, the lower left corner, and you can work on graphing your points, okay? Now, obviously, if you don't go nice and smooth by, this may have to be by ones, right? Over here, though, you may have to change this to be able to fit your points, right? You may have to go by 5s, you may have to go by 10s, you may have to go by 20s, okay? So I want you to take some time with the group here and see what you can diagram out, see what you can figure out your table, and begin to plot your points, and let's see what we can start to discover about the different sizes, okay?